what would you like to define the term Bharatiya? And here I would like to understand what belong to us.
When we talk about India as an agrarian economy, because we depend more on agriculture.
What was the location of the Bharatvarsh, that is
Okay.
ancient India, and I mean the geographical boundaries?
Where does Bharat lie? Where is the location of Bharat? So it is north of the sea.
Okay.
And south of the Himalaya. Ramayana is considered to be an inventory of mountains and rivers and various physical features.
Travel records are there.
Travel records, and the most important travel record in Ramayana is the directions which Sugriv gives to his people to find Sita.
Namaskar. Bharat. When we hear this single word, thousands of thoughts come to our mind, because if we go to define this word, a single word, that is Bharata, we will have many connotations, because it is a greatest and oldest civilization, and we have a great history and also a geography. And that is why today we are here to discuss the geographical significance of our nation, that is Bharata. And to explore this very phenomenal subject, today we have with us Dr. Bhagyashree Yargop, and she is a great scholar of geography, and I must say not only a great, but she is a very enthusiastic scholar of geography, and I'm very happy that we could invite her. So first I would like to welcome Dr. Yargop to this series.
Namaskar.
So I would like to start with a very basic question. When we discuss something or when we try to study something, any topic, there are many perspectives, right? So why geography this time?
Okay. So why geography? A very, very basic question.
But fundamental as well.
Yeah, but fundamental. Like if you look at the sphere of working or anything, you know, like when we talk about minerals, when we talk about agriculture, we talk about road development, etc. There are certain things which we can say that these are called as the geographical factors.
Yes.
And if these geographical factors are fulfilled, then a particular thing can happen. Like when can we say that when we talk about India as an agrarian economy? Now, why agrarian economy? Because Indian economy is an agrarian economy because we depend more on agriculture.
True.
And so why agriculture? Because we are having, that is, the latitudinal extent of India is so large that you have different types of soils, different types of climate, which help us to have different forms of agriculture in India. So why, when, where, how, what? These are the basic questions on which the economic life of man is dependent.
Yes.
And so geography is very, very important.
So that is why geography, obviously.
Yeah.
So now I would like to concentrate or focus on why and how. Because when we are discussing geography, in this institute, Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute,
Okay.
we always refer to ancient wisdom.
Okay.
And even today's podcast is dedicated to ancient Indian geography.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you that what was the location of the Bharatvarsh, that is
Okay.
ancient India, and I mean the geographical boundaries.
Okay. Now, when we look at the Puranas and the epics, and we try to demarcate the different countries, the different regions, we understand that Bharat is a very, very important entity. And where is this entity? It is the part of a very large entity called as Jambudvipa. Okay. Now, in this Jambudvipa, which is a continent, Dvipa is a continent or a land. Okay, so in this continent you have various countries which have been described. Okay, and this will be clear to us in coming this, that there are so many countries which today the contemporary names of these countries may be different, but it is very important that the concept of Bharatiya had been spread to all these countries.
Yes.
Now coming back to your question of what is the location of Bharatvarsh. Now in this Jambudvipa you have a very important mountain called as Meru.
True.
And it is described that south of this Meru is a very, very important entity, a very important regional entity called as Bharatvarsh. Now this Bharatvarsh has been explained in a very beautiful way in Vishnu Puran, where it says that where does Bharat lie? Where is the location of Bharat? So it is north of the sea,
Okay.
and south of the Himalayas.
Oh, right.
Okay, and where are the Himalayas? The Himalayas are the mountain ranges which run from the West Sea, that means Arabian Sea, to the Eastern Sea.
Right.
That is the Bay of Bengal. So south of that you have a Arcute. Arcute is a it's like a bow. Okay, so that mountain range which you call as the Himalayas. So the location of Bharatvarsha has been so clearly explained that it is north of the sea and south of Himalayas is the region which is called as Bharat.
Yes.
And the people who stay over here are called as Bharat Santati.
Right.
Yeah. So
So this is so fascinating, because whenever we discuss about Purana, generally people think that they are meant for certain kind of
mythology.
Worship,
Yeah.
pujas
Yeah.
or devatas.
Yeah.
But this is the beauty and significance of a textual tradition, that one text, even if you take any of the
Any.
text, it will provide you many details of enormous topics, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
So this is the beauty of this textual tradition, and I'm so glad that being a scholar of geography, you are trying to collect and compile all this information from Vedas to Puranas.
Yeah, because Vedas give you a lot of geography.
Yeah, true.
Ramayana is considered to be an inventory of mountains and rivers and various physical features.
Travel records are there.
Travel records, and the most important travel record in Ramayana is the directions which Sugriv gives to his people to find Sita. And Mahabharata is considered to be the encyclopedia of geography for people like us. Yeah.
So when Sugriva was striving to path to find Sita, we can strive for those ancient details of the directions for the boundaries and the maps even today. So that is the beauty of the great epic like Ramayana. And when we are discussing about Ramayana and Mahabharata, let me ask you one more question in this regard, because our national anthem, that also refers to some rivers and mountains, right? So when we daily sing that anthem, that Vindhya Himalaya, Yamuna Ganga, Uchchal Jaladhi Taranga. So even our national anthem refers to some mountains and rivers to locate the territory that we have today as Bharata.
That's right.
So do Vedas record any such references to locate ancient India?
Yes, yes. The Vedas, the Puranas, the epics, they tell you so much. You know, like you are having Himalayas. The entity which is south of the Himalayas is India, is Bharat. But with that, you have 7 Kulaparvata. Like you have the Himalayas, you have the Vindhyas, you have the Pariyatras. The Pariyatra means at many a times Aravalis. Okay, you have the Vindhyas, you have the Malayas. Malayas is the southern Sahyadris. You have the Sahaya, which is the northern Sahyadris. So these are there are 7 Kulaparvat. With that, in Rigveda, they have talked about a region which is called as Sapta Sindhava.
I was about to ask the significance of Nadi Sukta in this regard.
Yes, and there is a river that is, this region was called as Sapta Sindhava. Now what do you mean by Sindhu? Sindhu doesn't mean only one river, which you today refer to as Indus.
Yes.
But Sindhu is a large water body. Okay. Now Sapta Sindhava till very recent past, let me be very frank and very clear with you, I was under the impression, that is when I studied this, it became clear to me, but till then I was under the impression it is Sindhu, Saraswati and the 5 tributaries of Sindhu.
Yes.
But no, in Rigved, when they talk about Sapta Sindhava, it is Saraswati and its 7 tributaries. They have talked about Sindhu, but Saraswati is a very, very important river.
Yeah.
And her 7 tributaries.
Yes.
That is the region which you call as the region of Sapta Sindhava. And if you try to find it out today in contemporary geography, that's the region which can be considered as Haryana.
Okay.
So that is what
Yeah.
they have talked about. Yes, yes.
So now you just mentioned about Haryana and Sapta Sindhu. So at this point of the discussion, let me tell our audience that these are just a glimpses of this great topic, that is ancient Indian geography, and to reveal the other facts and textual study, we are going to launch a separate online course that is called Bharatvarsh, the Ancient Indian Geography. And Dr. Yargop will deliver this entire course with all such interesting details with the depth. So I think this will be the treat. So when I was listening to you in this discussion, the thought came to my mind. When we call ourselves Bharatiya, so I know one connotation from Mahabharata, because it refers to Shakuntala's story, that successors of King Bharata, they are called Bharatiya, and we all belong to that land and I think that family, I would say.
Yes.
But what would you like to define the term Bharatiya? And here I would like to understand what belong to us when we call ourselves Bharatiya.
Okay. Now, whatever you are saying is also correct, that we always refer ourselves as the Bharatiyas, who are one of our ancestor was Bharata.
Yes.
So we refer to him. But there is one more very interesting an event, we can say a political event, which occurred during the Rigveda time.
Yes.
Okay. And that is called as the Dasharadhana Yuddha. That is the War of 10 Kings. Now, as most of us must be knowing, or for those who are not knowing it, this is a Yuddha which took place between Sudasa, who belonged to the Bharata Trutsu tribe, and he resided on the banks of the river Saraswati. And he was attacked by 10 kings who made a confederation, and they attacked Sudasa, and these 10 kings had their guru as Vishwamitra, and Sudasa had his guru as Vasishtha. So during this war, Sudasa crossed Saraswati and went to the river Ravi, what we call as today, which in the Rigveda it is called as the Parusani. So and the war was fought over there. I am trying to tell this entire event. I have heard to Dr. Sanjeev Sanyal, and in one of his lectures, he has elaborated, and it is written in his book also, about this entire event. So what happened next was that on the banks of the river Ravi, the 10 kings lost to Sudasa. And it is said that 6,666 people from the enemy tribe were drowned into the river. And so this is what happened. So being a victorious king, Sudasa tried to then, he started capturing more and more regions in the eastern side, like he went and captured the Bedas, who were on the banks of the Yamuna. And after that, he also performed a Rajasuya and a Ashwamedha Yajna and declared himself as a Chakravartin, that is the emperor.
Yeah.
So Chakravartin, this is the first time in the history or the polity of Bharata, we see that Sudas is a Chakravartin.
True.
Now the interesting thing is that this doesn't make us Bharatiya. So what makes us Bharatiya? The interesting thing is that after he defeated these 10 kings, he defeated Vedas, what did he do? The most important thing is he called all the defeated kings and their scholars, their gurus, and they performed something, that is, they said that all your knowledge, let us get it together. And that's what they say, that by this they compiled the Vedas. Okay? And another thing which was very important in this was that each god of the defeated tribe was also given the place over here in the worship. So it's always said that this is the best example of assimilation and not imposition. Okay, and then more and more tribes who were not at all related to the 10 king war or anything, they started coming, and they also started getting into this concept of Bharatiya. They also started contribute their knowledge. And then it was decided that in the first book of Rigveda, it is completely dedicated to Agni.
Agni mere Purohit.
Yes, but with Agni, another thing is that they are also paying their tribute to the ancient saints and to the new saints. Now, when I say ancient, that means Rigveda is not the beginning. Rigveda is not the beginning. It was there.
It cannot be.
It cannot be.
For
yes.
us, for the textual tradition, it was a beginning point. But
yes.
for those people who were living in that era, obviously
yes.
they had a very great and established civilization. So that was not a beginning for them.
Yeah. And when we say modern gurus, that means modern at that time.
Yeah.
Not now. So all these people, they got their places over there. Apart from that, the gods got their places. And so this is how this entire concept started building up.
Yes.
And like what Dr. Sanyal says, that I belong to Bengal, like that. You and me, we belong to Maharashtra. But we today, as Bharatiyas, are getting related to that small Bharata-Trutsu tribe which was in Haryana.
Yeah.
So this is how the concept of Bharatiya not only spread in India, but it spread in the different countries of Jambu Dweep.
True, true.
Like Harivarsha, which is Afghanistan, or Ilavritavarsha, which is the Fargana Valley, because we do see certain traits of Bharatiya in that region.
True. So when we are talking about Sapta Sindhus and the Vedic era, so I would like to ask a very pertinent question about a mystical and mythical river, and obviously that is Saraswati.
Okay.
So what is your opinion about the Saraswati River?
If you ask me, my opinion is that I can't call it mystical or
True.
I can't call it mythical.
But generally people do think like this. Yes.
No, because when you say Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Shatudri, if this is written in the Rigveda, that means there was this entity which you call as the Saraswati.
Yes.
Okay, this was a very, very important river during the Rigveda, because here it has been mentioned for nearly 70 times, and there are 3 hymns which are completely dedicated to this river. And this was a very important river. It originated somewhere in the Himalayas, and it went and drained itself into the Arabian Sea. But you know, here geography comes into picture, because there are various things, various geographical factors which might have occurred at that time. And that is the reason why today you cannot see Saraswati as Saraswati. But what we see today is the Ghaggar or Hakra, what we call as, which is a non-perennial river. Now, what do I mean by a non-perennial river? That is, it is not flowing for 12 months a year. It flows only during the monsoons. And it's a part of the Saraswati system. Okay. Now, what happened? Why? What was the reason that today we don't see Saraswati? And then what happened to the region which she occupied? True. So that's a very important question.
Certainly.
So there are a few things which are there, like it has something to do, say, similar time span is of the decline of the Sindhu Valley civilization. Droughts, they set in, and it is considered to be the Meghalayan age, where the rainfall suddenly came down, and because of that the agrarian economy also it diminished. Okay, and so people who were staying on the Saraswati banks, you don't call it anymore as the Indus Valley civilization. True. We call it as the Saraswati Sindhu civilization, because we find more evidences of civilization, this Indic civilization, on the banks of the Saraswati, which we try to trace today. So one reason is decline in the rainfall. Another reason is a tectonic reason. Tectonic reason is a geological reason. Now you know that India is a huge country. Bharat is a huge country, and this Bharat is made up of basically two geological regions. One what you call as the peninsular region, and another what you call as the extra peninsular region, the Himalayas. Now the Indian plate has subducted below the Asiatic plate, giving rise to the Himalayas. We know about it. And this movement, this entire thing is still going on. How do we come to know about it? The earthquakes which take place in North India. Yes. They are the proofs for that. Now something happens, some tectonic movement, a tectonic plate, and the two important tributaries of Saraswati were lost into this. One was Shatudri, that is Satluj. Yes. It went and met Sindhu. Another was Yamuna. It came south and met Ganga. Yes. And so the amount of water flowing through this river decreased. And one of the geological and geographical evidences which they try to tell us is that the run of Kutch, what we see today, is the old remnant of the Saraswati estuary. So you can just imagine that this river was there. You cannot call it as a mythical river.
Thanks a lot for this clarification, and what an amazing answer to my question. So thanks a lot because this point is very much important, yeah. And this gives us the direction to study, and yeah, right. that is more important right. So, these days.
I've known some geographical research scholars who do the same thing again and again. So there are so many things, that they can start learning, they can start getting into it.
Certainly. And even for college going students or school children.
Yes, it's going to be important, yeah.
So my next question will be on physiography.
Okay.
So what is your opinion that how physiography plays a role in exploration of ancient Indian geography?
Okay. Now physiography, let us basically understand
what is physiography.
What is physiography?
Audience, yes.
It is a result of structure, that is what type of rocks are there. It is a result of processes, because geographical processes which are called as the exogenic and the endogenic. Endogenic which take place below the surface of the earth, the tectonic activities, and the exogenic which take place above the surface of the earth, like most of the school going children and the 11th, 12th standard and the college going students must be knowing about the agents of erosion. So how do they sculpt this place? And the third very important thing is that time taken, because when we are talking about all these things, it is not something which is happening in 1 day or 2 days or 100 years. It is happening in millions of years. And so structure, process and time, that gives a physiography. Okay, physiography is the physical features which we see on the surface of the earth. Now, if you ask me about what role did the physiography played in the ancient Indian geography, I will always say that Saraswati River, which was an important river, which had a huge river floodplain, which made that floodplain that is the river which made it very, very fertile. And so agriculture could develop over here, and we do have evidences for that in Kalibangan. We do have evidences for that. So the physiography. Now what is physiography? The floodplain. who has created the floodplain? The river, the process. Okay, so this is how we can say. Another very important thing is that in the Himalayas, at certain places, we do find certain human activities which have taken place in the ancient time.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So why? Now, as we just discussed that the Indian plate and the Himalayan plate, now of course, I'm very clear that if the people follow our course, they will come to know. We have talked in detail about it. So with this Indian plate still getting subducted below the Eurasian plate, the height of the Himalayas is increasing by 5 millimeters per year.
Yeah.
So 5 millimeters per year, and when you try to calculate it, go back to 70,000 years.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that that must be the reason that the Himalayas must have been at a lower height, and because of that, human population must have been there. So that's the physiography.
Wow.
And
yeah,
this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
When we think about our nation, we always say that we have unity in diversity.
Yes.
So how would you define this phrase, that is unity in diversity, with reference to ancient Indian geography?
Now, one very important thing, food habits. Okay. Now, these food habits are dependent on the products which you get in that region. Okay. You go anywhere in India, payasam, kheer.
Yes. So rice was, yes,
Rice was
the key factor.
Was the key factor. Another thing is, when we talk about unity in diversity, or this, the climate. Now, here I want to make, with your permission, I want to make a very important clarification.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
One thing is that we always hear people saying कि आज का climate खूब खराब है, और today's climate is not good.
बहुत खराब हो गया सब.
बहुत खराब हो गया. आज का climate अच्छा नहीं है. So I just want to make it clear that these two words, climate and weather. Now, weather means the atmospheric conditions for a particular day, for a particular time.
True.
Okay. That is, right now I can say, yes, today's weather is quite humid.
Yes.
Which is correct. And when you take these weather conditions for 30 years, that is what it talks about in climatology.
Oh.
Okay. So when you take this for 30 years, then that becomes a climate.
Yes.
So this is very important. Now, climatically, as I was trying to tell you, in South, we always have seen that the people, they prefer little bit of soft, soothing clothes due to
made of cotton.
Yeah, due to heat and this. But Gandhar, okay, what is today's Kandahar, was a region which specialized in woolen clothes.
Yes, yes.
Because of the climatic conditions in that.
Even Mahabharata records that.
Yes. Another thing is Rajasthan. Always in Rajasthan, Marusthali, what you call as, maybe because they are having all the other things as the drier part, they try to see that they wear colorful clothes.
Oh.
So that is there. But at the end of the day, whatever was done by the Bharatvidya is still there. It has been, it has come generations after generations.
Being followed, yes.
And today, even today, what? We call ourselves as Bharatiya. That is unity in diversity.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And my last question for this particular podcast, because I can ask ample of questions and we can go ahead with this discussion for hours, I think so. But for this podcast, and to conclude that as you know that we have a revised national education policy.
Yes.
And under the stream of Indian knowledge systems, we have got this opportunity to study all these topics with reference to ancient Indian texts. So, what do you think about this national education policy and importance of understanding Bharatvarsh for this academic venture and for students?
Yes. Okay. Now, this national education policy is going to be because it's very important, as the policy, there is a change in the policy after 47 years.
I think it's a kind of path-breaking activity.
It's a path-breaking thing.
It is path-breaking.
Another thing is, like, if you remember, when we were in school and when we were taught history, geography and all those things, they were taught in a very monotonous way, a very different. This is a great opportunity for the students to understand, to learn about different subjects. And the most important thing is what our ancestors did not do. They did not impose on their defeated this.
Yes.
That's what the Britishers did on us. They imposed the idea that you are not educated, you don't have anything, and like what you said, Puranas, epics are always thought to be the sources of studies.
These are very clear misunderstandings or misconceptions.
Yes, these are misunderstandings. No, this is an opportunity for students.
Exactly.
Right from school.
Yes.
To understand our own country, our own Bharatiya concept. And when we say that we have a tradition of 5,000 years, I would not say that 5,000 years. I would go beyond that. Because if you talk about Mehergarh, on the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan, there you have found evidences which go up to 7,000 BCE. 9,000 BCE, and they have full-fledged industries, everything. So it's an opportunity for our students, I would not say only students,
but for all
Bharatiyas to re-understand our own culture. And this is not just for geography or history. Yes. It's for all subjects. You go for any subject and you have some reference in some of our books, ancient books. So this is a very great opportunity for us as Bharatiyas to re-understand our own civilization, our own culture, and be proud of it.
Certainly.
That's what I would say. And this NEP has given us this opportunity for the students, and for others, they can always go. There are so many avenues by which they can understand this.
Very well said, Dr. Yargop. And whenever I think of this Indian knowledge systems, I generally prefer to call it Bharatiya knowledge system or Bharatiya Jnana Parampara. And because of this system or this educational policy, we have an opportunity to embark on a journey to understand the essence of being Bharatiya. This is an opportunity to explore the Bharatiyatva, and that Bharatiyatva which was recorded by Bharatiyas in the Bharatiya textual
text. That's right.
So
absolutely.
And I'm very happy that this online course which is being launched and delivered by Dr. Yargop will give you the opportunity to explore the same journey I was talking about. So I thank Dr. Yargop that you came here and you tried to clarify so many things for me and for our audience, and I'm sure that this course will give many more insights in this regard. So I would like to announce here, with your permission now, that we at Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute are going to launch this very special course on ancient Indian geography on our online platform, that is www.bharatvidya.in. The title of this course will be Bharatvarsh, the Ancient Indian Geography, and this course will be launched on 10th May 2025. So please enroll for this course and tell all your friends, and this is my personal appeal because this course is very special, because this is an opportunity to understand what we were and what we are. So with this note, I will take your leave, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.